Now then, welcome. Thank you for downloading or streaming this podcast. Please be advised, this podcast contains strong language, banter of a sexual or racial nature that some viewers may find offensive. If you are easily offended, please do not listen to this podcast. Spank your... One of the reasons why I do this podcast is because A, I don't get out of the house much, and B, it builds my self-confidence. So every time you guys send a donation or an affiliate or buy something via the affiliate link, as cheesy as it sounds, you really are making my days that bit brighter. To see how you can help the show, simply check the show's show notes. Okay guys, what's good. Wanted to say thank you so much in terms of the response to the last episode with my daughter. She's at home now and everything is all good. This is the Makeba podcast, episode number 13. Unlucky for some. Niggers. Evening, Squire. What it is, greetings, salutations, how is it going? Welcome to episode 13 of the Makeba podcast. How insane is that? How insane that we have been doing this podcast for give or take, 3 months? 4 months? I knew there was a period where there was a break. I had to take a break. One, because I didn't have any internet, and two, I lost my routine. I lost the whole kind of thing that I was doing for a period of... What the fuck? Oh. My battery. My Kindle battery telling me I had no battery. I've lost my trail of thought now fucking thing. Yeah, I became very ill and everything just went to hell. And this was the period where... I actually managed to not only get on a train, but actually go to my mum's and hang out with Ruby, and she was one of the reasons why I wanted to do it more. I wanted to be a lot more active, like I used to be in previous episodes, but I just wasn't in a mindset. I think it's okay every once in a while to say that you're not okay. That you're not okay, and you're in a lot of emotional pain. I think every once in a while it's okay to be honest with yourself. And I mean, you guys have heard the episodes previously. You guys are aware of what kind of physical and mental state I'm in. It's to points where I just don't want to be on this planet anymore. Happy to report that that's not the case at the moment. I've been back for about 2 weeks now, back in Manchester, and I've really been thinking about a couple of things, and I don't know how this has happened. I know why. I was fiddling around with my phone, and I came across Project Vengeance. Now, for those of you who didn't train with me as a performing artist, towards the end of my training, my university training, I needed to start thinking about an end project, and it actually started, I believe, 2009, I started thinking about, well, shit, what am I going to do for final project? And eventually I came up with Project Vengeance. And what I wanted to do for Project Vengeance was combine all the things that I love with all the things that intrigued me during my training as a performing artist. And eventually I gave it, and towards the end of the rehearsal, I gave it the name The Hunger Within. The reason why it was called The Hunger Within is it was each one of the characters has a hunger and a desire, and it's mainly the story was that hunger and that power was mainly corrupting them and eating them in from eating within them the insides, if that makes sense. So over the next couple of weeks, we're coming up towards the 5-year anniversary of Hunger Within. So I'm sending out a couple of Facebooks. Yeah, I sent out a couple of Facebook messages. I've changed a couple of the things on Twitter. I want to see what kind of response I get from acknowledging that, it's been 5 years since this project. This project was my first ever finished theatre production thing. And towards the end, towards the actual day of its performance, which is the 5th of May, I'm actually going to be uploading it onto YouTube, hopefully, and also I'm making it public on other streaming networks, with the hope that we talk a lot about it in here in the podcast. I can throw up a couple of notes from that period of time, what influenced me, where it went wrong, looking at the video now, where I could have improved on, what could have been stronger, what could have been more clearer, and my cast, because obviously there wouldn't be a show if it wasn't for my cast. I really hope I can get a couple of the people involved in the project, even a couple of people like behind the scenes, and get their thoughts on what happened and whatnot. I think another reason why I've been thinking about this so much is because I considered it a failure. I considered it something that I put my heart and soul into it, and the execution of it just kind of fell apart. And I think there's a few reasons for why it fell apart. The first reason, it was far too ambitious. And the second reason is that I really should have asked for more help. The third reason is because I'm a fucking aspie. I don't want to use this too much of a big reason and excuse for why it wasn't the piece that I wanted it to be. But doing my research after graduation, and becoming more comfortable being an aspie, I realise now, and looking at the notes and remembering actions and things that I was saying to the cast and saying to the production team, it makes sense to me now why there were some things I tried to get across but couldn't execute it correctly. So let's get into basically I want to give you a writer's perspective of what happened. So in front of me here I've got a blueprint of scenes. I'm not sure if I'll do that this week. I've got the script itself, and there's one more, and I'm just trying to find it. I think it was the research log. and it starts all the way from the 10th of January, 10th of December 2009. And I think I'm just going to start reading the research log and just see where we go from here. So the 10th of December 2009. I've been working on this project since the summer. I've been watching a few films such as Shogun Assassin. I am Sam! Shogun Assassin, Lady Vengeance, but blindly. I think what I mean by that is that I had the knowledge of the film, but never actually watched the film. In particular, Shogun Assassin, as that was one of the films that the Wu-Tang Clan, particularly, I believe it was the Jizza. I hate pronouncing his name. The Wizard of Jizza. It is the Jizza, isn't it? But I can't hear that name and not think Jizz. Let's move on, as in because his name is obviously. I think it's like an acronym for genius. But yeah, he uses a lot of that film in his album. Sound clips of that film in his album. Lady Vengeance. Lady Vengeance is a part of the Vengeance trilogy. I think it goes Sympathy for Mr. Revenge or Vengeance. I've completely forgotten. My mind's just died. Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. Old Boy. And the conclusion of that would be Lady Vengeance. The director, again, my brain's just died. Chan Park something, I've forgotten. But these are the pieces of work that I've been passionate about for so many years. The only thing that really annoys me is that I can't pronounce their names. Like I can see it in my mind, but I can't pronounce it. So I think it was another reason why I didn't want to talk about the project in public as much, because I was concerned that because I could see the words but I couldn't pronounce the names, that people would think I'm a fucking fake. I think that's one of my fears in life, that I come across as a fake, when everything I do is in terms of performing arts, it's from the heart. It's what I don't want to do a project that I don't care about. And I feel during my time at university, there were certain times where I couldn't make the connection in terms of my work and what people and how people and people's ideas for that work. And there were times where I was just being an aspie out and out and just being a dick all the time. And I wouldn't take any of that back, because I feel that all of that was a wonderful learning curve for me. I was a very big fish in a small pond, and with all due respect to anyone who trained in Nottinghamshire and works up, I was coming off the back of extremely high praise for the roles that I did in college. And then I went to the drama school, and there was still, I still believe that I was a big fish in a small pond. But the problem is that there were a lot more bigger fishes that, fishes the same size as me, but doing and understanding and learning things a lot more. They were learning things that the teachers appreciated, whereas I was learning things and I was trying to develop my style, and to be honest with you, I was just trying to survive drama school. So I feel that there's a lot of artists. I mean, you look at Paul Denson, or as I used to call him, Tall Paul, Tornapal. You know, he's a huge. Well, he's not huge, but he's doing his thing. You know, I've been looking at his work on Facebook. He's doing a lot of work in Japan. He's had some viral success. I believe Charlotte Thompson also is doing great things. Lewis, he fell off the edge of the earth for me. I don't know of his work, but at the time he was one of these, big fish who was developing, and the work that he was doing was very pleasing, and he was very professional. Whereas I was coming in and I was trying to articulate and trying to just do everything from the heart, and I was in a lot of emotional pain then. But unfortunately, it came across as I was coming off as a token black guy dick, and I feel that I wouldn't have taken that back. But I've learned from that pain. I always learn from my pain, and now my pain is my canvas, which is why I'm always kind of like referring. I think all of the characters that I create, all the characters that I develop, all the storylines and the angles that I work is very pain orientated. It's very struggle based. I'm thinking of uploading the script so you guys can read and see that there's a certain, particularly with the main antagonist, there is a journey that they're going through, and it's a journey of great pain, and the pain causes them to do a couple of really rash things, which hopefully you guys will hear about in the next couple of episodes. Okay, so let's carry on. And running themes and shots that keep popping up in other Eastern Asian films. I think what I was saying by that is, in terms of, I think at the time I was watching a lot of ninja films, a lot of Korean films, some Jackie Chan films. I tend to think there was an error in Northern Asia films where the female protagonist was the biggest character that you could be in Northern Asia films, and a lot of people who watch some Northern Asian films now are putting that idea into their work now. But having said that, that's also got me thinking about the rise of the female protagonist in Hollywood, and there's a couple of other articles that are now fed up of the female antagonist. I want to get into that on a later date. I don't want to diverge too much. So yeah, I was looking at different styles of Asian theatre, and again noticing themes like minimalistic music used in Noh theatre, which I think is used in Baraku, mainly using Japanese drum, Japanese guitar like instruments, and vocals obviously in Japanese. I noticed the use of a kuruku, like stagehands, but all in black, and sometimes the performer might research to confirm this theory. We'll come back to that in later weeks. I think, let me just check the time, how long I've been talking. Okay, I'm gonna take a pause here because I need some water. All right, I'm back. Let me just get my notes back up. So I don't want to. I think what I'll do is I won't talk about the Japanese style as much in this episode. But what I do want to say is that there was a lot I was trying to fit into a 10-minute piece, and like I said, it was too ambitious, but I wouldn't listen. I think as well as the Japanese stuff, there was Korean. No, actually, I wouldn't say all Korean Chun Park. Suddenly, I think that's his name. A lot of his films inspired me. The way that he writes, and also the fact that he actually, before he was a film writer, a creator, he actually studied psychology, and I've always been curious about psychology. So there's certainly that connection, and what makes people tick, and what makes people sort of grince in horror. I think that's another reason why Battle Royale is my favourite film of all time, and also Akira Shikarasu. I've suddenly forgotten how to pronounce his name. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just a love of just upsetting people and pissing people off, but hoping that people will stay afterwards and kind of talk about the art that they've seen, because at the end of the day, I hate that phrase, but what I'm trying to create is art, and the emotion that I'm trying to give out to people is shock and horror. I think that's another thing that I've kind of never spoken about in terms of my work, is that how horror related it actually is. But the thing is, I do when I think about it, I do like the creepiness and the ideas of within horrors, but I don't think I myself would be able to direct or create a horror piece, particularly a horror piece with jump scares in it. I don't think my work is leaning towards that way, but I think my work would be leaning more towards the Tom Six kind of thing, where it's just shock value. And but these are the kind of things that I'm noticing now, particularly with my love for Battle Royale, and particularly looking over these notes. So let's go back to it. It's extremely common in most forms. I was talking about the Karuku. The Karuku actually is a character that I do actually to this day continue to stick into my work whenever I can. I'm hoping that, as well as this being the 5-year anniversary, I really hope that this lights a fire under my arse and I start creating work again, and I can start showing you exactly what I mean by the Rikuku who keeps popping up in my work. So on Thursday of that December 10th, I met with my tutor and basically started rambling where the idea of this project came from. I wish I said something as basic as this. I love Eastern Asian performance. China, Japan, Korea. Those are the big players for me. Sorry, I'll say that bit again. I love Eastern Asia performance and culture. I want to create a piece of a performance as tribute. I volunteer. The Hunger Games without the Hunger Games. You see that would, if I did read that book, then I could have easily just written that. I volunteer to make a performance piece about Eastern Asia culture and performance as tribute. Anyway, after the meeting, I was left in two minds. The idea of creating something extremely colourful, bright, or creating a piece of dark social commentary, which uses styles of the elements that of research that I've discovered. Today I'll be making a research hit list. I'll see if I can find that in later episodes. On of all the items of research I shall mainly focus on. Oh, I see. So all the kind of like a I can't call it brainstorm anymore, but brain mapping, in the sense of like, this is the big idea, and all under the ideas circle around it are the supporting things in the piece. Can you see what I'm talking about in terms of too fucking big? You know, what I really should have done is there was a piece, there's a bit within the film that you'll see why I'm talking about in later episodes, where there was a running there was a sub story running within the story. I really should have just had that piece and just discussed it a little bit, rather than just have this massive thing that it was. Because 5 years on, I still believe that I can extend this piece and turn it into something really huge. And that's all I've got to say about that. I don't want to say too much and not deliver. I'm just trying to find where I was. At the moment, I'm not sure about theatre styles, although Bunraku is looking like the most likely to be used, but the most difficult to pull off. However, I want to look into video game makers Capcom, SNK, and Sega. In my mind, these are the Japanese companies that most influence me. I want to look at video games like Final Fight, Samurai Showdown, and Street Fighter series. Briefly, I want to look at Final Fantasy, but only if my original story goes ahead. Also, I see that historically I have to look into the feudal era of Japan. I hope this is a good enough start. I mean, from those paragraphs, you can already tell that this could be... It's too big. And I feel that's okay. I feel, looking back now, that was okay to do. That was okay to have this fucking huge triple-decker sandwich of ideas and try to squash it into a fucking waffle maker and make that some bitch cook and turn it into something edible. If you understand my terminologies, I think it was really great to have tried to do this. But ultimately, I feel particularly December, January, February, March, April. I had 5 months. I had 5 months to do this, and I still hadn't. I think at that time I hadn't even found a cast. I think this is like even before I started writing a script. But basically, what I had was the bare backbones of an idea. It just so happened that the idea was a little muffled. It was a little muffled, but I think at a period, it was certainly a plan. I mean, looking at the blueprint of scenes, I mean, I think there's certain parts where I even go into Greek chorus and Jacobean, and I think that was more of a wink and a nudge towards Akira Sakura's one of his favourite Western directors was John Ford, and I can't remember what it was, but I think either one or the other made a piece, and I think it was 12 Cowboys or something. This is me trying to remember from back in the days, and it was a piece. that was loosely based on a Shakespeare play, and I can't remember which one it was. Either it was fucking King Lear, the Scottish play, or Hamlet. But it was one of those, and I think there's parts of the text that wink and nudge towards that. But the problem with that is that I remember researching John Ford and Sakura, and just getting more and more, head exploded in terms of just thinking about the Jacobean bit, and I think the opening scene that I wrote is very Jacob. No, actually, sorry. Yeah. No, the first scene that we see is very Jacobean based. But the problem is that I feel that as a director then is that all of that shit kind of went out the window, and it kind of developed into all these different styles and pieces that I was trying to do. I want to quickly say that there's a prologue and then a scene one, and that actually is in Tethered. That actually is a setup that's very Japanese cinema based, and there's also video game references as well. At the time, I kind of thought it was kind of clever, but it was kind of like more Schadenfreude funny. Hopefully, when all of this is done, you guys will see the video, and you guys will see what I'm talking about. There's a lot of fucked up things that happen in the piece. Some of them kind of wink towards Greek theatre, in your face theatre, but I felt that the language used in the text isn't as, I'm on about the dialogue between the characters, it wasn't as grossed out as in your face theatre, so you can't really, you can make, I mean, you can compare the two for sure, but it's not the same. I feel that the piece that I worked on and actually produced is certainly more Japanese and Greek theatre based. But then you could argue that in your face theatre is this is kind of like a cousin to Greek theatre. Or am I confusing myself because I must be? Fuck knows. But guys, I think I'm gonna leave it as this. Leave it as it was. As I said in Fox Spots, I wanted to do. I wanted to do podcast episodes where it was like half an hour I talk about wrestling, half an hour I talk about something else, and half an hour I talk about something else. So let's see where it goes. I'm going to call this episode to a close. Remember to follow me on Facebook. On Twitter. The Foxwot What. TheFoxWotWot. And also, if you are able to, follow the hashtag 5 years hungry. That's 5 years hungry. I'll be trying to find the cast. I'll be trying to find the production teams. Also, I'll be putting up parts of the research that I was talking about in this episode. And I'd love to hear love to hear your thoughts and comments on that. Also, if you are a performing artist who's graduating this year, I really hope that this is beneficial to you as well. I feel that there's too much emphasis on making everything perfect, executing everything correctly. Whereas, oh God, yeah, I fucking paid for the fuck ups that I did in terms of the execution and trying to articulate the work that I did, but my fuck ups made me appreciate the work that I did then and look forward to the work that I will be creating in the future. And I feel that that's all you can do is hope it improves in the future and always be working and working and trying to find ways to create better. I mean, there's no point of just sitting on your ass and just wishing for tomorrow when today is here. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking shit. I'm going to jump on Twitter now and use the hashtag ImpactUK because it's Sunday, and as I said on Foxbots, I'd love to see you in the conversation. So yeah, cheers for listening.